Let me tell you about an incident that tested everything I learned in military service, protecting the people who matter most. Recently, a group of fraudulent property enforcers targeted my 93-year-old grandmother's homestead, and when I intervened, they escalated their scheme to try taking her land entirely. Their mistake was underestimating who they were dealing with. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me explain how this all unfolded. Before I continue, drop a comment about where you're tuning in from. I'm curious to see how widely this reaches. I've faced danger across multiple continents during my service years, but nothing ignites my protective instincts quite like threats against my loved ones. My grandmother, Dorothy Chen, has called our Arizona property home for 6 decades. The mortgage was settled years ago. Property taxes remain current, and no legitimate homeowners association exists within miles of our location. That didn't prevent 3 individuals wearing matching polo shirts labeled Property Standards Enforcement from strutting down our dirt road carrying official-looking paperwork, acting like they had authority over the place. Their supposed violation report claimed my grandmother's garden layout disrupted neighborhood aesthetic harmony in her storage, building blocked mandatory sightlines, pure fabrication, of course. Arizona state law requires written homeowner consent for any association authority. An unauthorized entry onto private property constitutes criminal trespass. When I instructed them to depart, one of the trio, a heavy-set man sporting mirrored sunglasses, sneered and declared, "This can happen cooperatively, or we can make it difficult." That instant triggered my shift from courteous to combat-ready. Military training had equipped me with de-escalation techniques, but also with the ability to neutralize threats when necessary. I advanced, maintaining steady vocal control while projecting unmistakable resolve. "Difficult is exactly what you're looking at," I stated clearly. Their fatal error was moving toward my grandmother, which prompted my immediate response. The first intruder rushed toward my grandmother, as if planning to shove past my position. A terrible decision. I intercepted his forearm, applied a joint lock, and redirected his forward energy to plant him face down in our rocky driveway. The second man, lanky and aggressive, attempted grabbing me from behind. I rotated, swept his foundation. Gravity deposited him hard enough to scatter his paperwork across the ground. The third hesitated momentarily before reaching inside, his shirt like he was retrieving something. I eliminated that distance, secured. His limb impressed him against our storage building before he could access what turned out to be a cheap pocket blade. "Let me take a wild guess," I said while maintaining control. "This has nothing to do with gardens or buildings. What's your real purpose here?" His response confirmed my suspicions. "Your grandmother owns valuable development property. My employer wants it, and he doesn't accept rejection." That admission revealed the entire scheme. These weren't legitimate enforcement officers. They were running an extortion operation, impersonating association officials to frighten elderly property owners into surrendering their land. Under Arizona criminal code, that constitutes both fraud and intimidation. Carrying substantial prison sentences when combined with trespassing violations, I secured all 3 using zip restraints from my vehicle toolkit, positioned them in the shade near our building, and contacted local law enforcement. While waiting for officers, I checked on my grandmother inside. She sat calmly at her dining table, enjoying her afternoon coffee like the confrontation never happened. "They picked the wrong property, didn't they?" she remarked with her characteristic smile. The deputy sheriff arrived within 20 minutes, and after reviewing my recorded evidence, the situation became clear immediately. These individuals aren't registered with any homeowners association. They work for a private intimidation service connected to a development corporation. We've been investigating this operation. The trio departed in patrol vehicles, but I recognized this represented just the opening move. If their employer valued my grandmother's property enough to send enforcers, he would certainly attempt another approach. I prepared for the inevitable. Escalation. 2 days passed before a pristine black luxury SUV appeared on our gravel road. The type of vehicle that signals trouble when it shows up in rural ranch territory. I positioned myself on the front steps, boot heels clicking against wood, creating a barrier between the approaching threat and my grandmother's front entrance. A man in an expensive charcoal suit emerged from the driver's seat, gold accessories gleaming in the desert sunlight. 2 additional security personnel flanked him, considerably larger than the previous crew and moving with professional coordination that suggested extensive experience. "Mr. Rodriguez," the suited man began with practiced charm, "I believe we've had some communication difficulties. I'm prepared to resolve this situation if your grandmother demonstrates flexibility." I maintained visual contact while keeping my voice level. "By flexibility, you mean transferring her deed for a fraction of its value?" His smile contained zero genuine warmth. "We both understand this property is underutilized for livestock and outbuildings. My investment group seeks development opportunities. You can accept my current proposal or face my associates." His error was assuming intimidation would work. The first security man stepped forward, which triggered my response. Palm strike 2 center mass, driving him backward into the SUV side panel hard enough to rock the entire vehicle. The second reached toward me, but I intercepted his arm, applied leverage, deposited him on the desert floor. The boss retreated slightly, his polished confidence evaporating. "You believe you can halt economic progress?" he demanded. I retrieved my phone and activated the sheriff's contact. "I already have. You dispatch men to threaten my grandmother. Every moment is documented. Add attempted coercion, criminal trespass, and conspiracy charges to your legal troubles. Also, for your information, I'm former military special operations. You won't succeed in physical confrontation either." The sheriff's patrol unit arrived precisely as the boss attempted returning to his vehicle. He never reached it. Handcuffs engaged, doors sealed shut, and the luxury SUV received an impound tow from our property. My grandmother appeared on the porch, her coffee cup releasing steam in the morning air. "Well," she observed, "I suppose we're keeping the place." I smiled back at her. "Absolutely, Grandma. We're keeping it. And we're ensuring nobody attempts this scheme again, because if they do, I'll be ready and waiting." The conclusion.